Okay. Recording. Here we go. So, translations of quadratic functions. Translations is actually, I can't remember if you learned this in 7th grade or not. But I know this is something that we're actually going over in 8th grade math right now. Translations, let me see. Where's my translations thing? Right here. Translations, where you move a shape in 4 different directions. You can move it up, down, left, or right. Okay? But this time we're working with parabolas, right? So you're moving your U up, down, left, or right. There's only 4 different directions, okay? Whoa. It's a feature on my thing. All right. So anyway, a parent function is the most basic function. Now, because we have worked with linear transformations, we've worked with linear translations, and they write it in function notation form, like with the g of x, h of x, all of that stuff. So we are going to have to continue practicing how to write it in function form. But starting off with the parent function, remember, your parent function is your starting point. It is the most basic function of a certain type, while a linear parent function is f of x equals x. Or you can think of it as y equals x. Because the slope is 1, the y-intercept is 0.
Is that your sub?
Okay. No. The quadratic parent function is f of x is equal to x squared. Okay? The quadratic parent function is f of x is equal to x squared. So we're going to complete the tables. Now, f of x equals x squared, your parent function is already graphed for you. I already did that part for you, okay? And usually with transformations, they always make your parent function a dashed line. So you graph your own transformation, or you graph your own new parabola. That way you could see what happened to the parabola, okay? So for the first one, we want to compare what happens from the parent function from our starting point to g of x. And they give us this equation right here. We're going to put that into y equals and fill our table in. Let me go to my camera. Yeah. So I'm going to go to y equals, I'm going to put x squared plus 2. And then go to the table. So filling in our table, negative 2 will be paired up with 6, negative 1, 3, 0, 2, 1, 3, and then 2, 6. And you should be able to identify or see the vertex. Where's the vertex? 0, 2, correct. There's my vertex. Okay. So we're going to graph that. Negative 2, 6 will be pretty close to the dash line. Negative 1, 3, 0, 2, and then your points are symmetrical. Okay? Even though they only give us those 4 points, I'm going to extend my line. And what do you think happened here? So it's also one thing, it's also very important for you to label your parabolas. My parent function is f of x. So I'm going to put that next to my dash line. And the new one is g of x. So what happened from f of x to g of x? What do you think happened? How did it, going from dash to the solid or dash to the blue one, what happened? What type of transformation? Remember, we're talking about translations, right? So there's only 4 directions it can go in. This one went up. If I grab my parabola, notice it's the same parabola, but all it did was move up. So filling in part A, it says in the equation Remember the equation, no, in the equation, what happens? They do what? Add to. It adds to the function. And the graph, what happens to the graph? It shifted my parabola which way?
Up.
Shifts 2 units up from f of x. So the equation, you have a plus 2. So a plus 2 is going to move my parabola up. What do you think the minus 9 is going to do? Make it go down. So let's put that into our calculator to fill in our points. Minus 9. Okay. You get your points. We'll go back. So -2, -5, -8, -9, -8, -5. Which one's my vertex?
-9.
-9. Very good. Okay. So what I'm going to do is plot my points. -2, -5, way down here. -1, -8, 9, 8. Right there. And we're only sketching. So this is my h of x. What happened to the parabola?
It moved down.
It just moved down. Notice it's the same size. All it did was moved down.
Miss Loveless.
Yes.
Can I please go to the nurse? My eye burns like really bad.
Okay. So in the equation, what happened? Yeah, we subtracted a 9 from the function, and in the graph, it shifted it what? 9 units down. Yep, very good. 9 units down. So that is what we call a vertical translation. We call that a vertical translation. So if f of x equals x squared, then have an f of x plus d. That plus d will shift the parabola vertically. Vertically means to go what? Up and down. Okay. A plus d will shift the parabola up. Minus d will shift it down. Now, because we do have the f of x, g of x, m of x, p of x, whatever of x, right? Because of all of that, you do have to know how to go from equation form to function form. So a regular equation meaning y equals, because you're going to be comparing two different equations, you can't have them both be y equals because you wouldn't know which one applies to which graph. So the regular equation, or the parent function, is y is equal to x squared. Going from y is equal to x squared to function form, what you do is you write the new name of the function, and typically it's g of x. G of x is replacing my y, and to replace that x squared, they replace it with f of x. So that's how it would look like on the STAR test right here. Fun stuff. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what, no, we'll get practice. You'll be fine. And anytime, like I said, your parent function will always be a dashed line. Okay. So you always want to make sure you're going from dashed to identify the transformation. You want to go from dashed to solid. That's how it would be on the STAR test. I think there's one problem on the notes that's not like that, and I don't like it, but whatever. Or maybe I fixed it. Yeah, I fixed it. Okay. So, the graph of f of x is equal to x squared. That's your parent function. That's your dashed line, right? And it is shown on the grid. Now, the function p is in the form of x squared plus d. If the value of should be d. I think it's d on your paper, right? Did I fix it on your paper? Okay. If the value of d is 2, write a statement on the about the relationship. So what happened? How did we move? How did we go from dashed to solid? What direction did we move in?
Upward.
We went up. Now, you always compare your vertex, right? So if you look at the vertex, you went up how many? 2. So you would write that you shifted up 2, or shifts up 2. And it always, whenever you're having to work with f of x, g of x, all those function notations, those types of names, it always helps to write the regular equation first, y equals form. So in y equals form, you would write x squared plus 2. This plus 2 is what represents that you have moved it up, okay? In your function, you replace it with the new name. What is the new name here?
P of x.
P of x. So the y equals is replaced with p of x. X squared is going to be replaced with f of x. Good. Plus u. And then bring down the plus 2. And that's how you would write it in function form. Always write it in equation form first and then function form. Write it in equation form first and then go to function form. Okay? Your y, you change the new name. Okay? The x squared, that's right here. F of x, x squared is replaced with f of x. You see that right there? Okay. And then everything else stays the same. Now, this is going to come up on your assignment. It asks, what happens to the axis of symmetry here? What does the axis of symmetry do? What is the axis of symmetry again? It goes through the vertex. It's the x value of the vertex. Very good. So if my vertex, bless you, is for the parent function at 0, 0, what's my axis of symmetry?
0.
X equals 0. What's the vertex now?
2.
0, 2.
It's 0.
But what's my axis of symmetry?
0.
So it's still the same. Remember, your axis of symmetry is the line or the imaginary line that splits it in half. If all I do is move it up, does it move my axis of symmetry? No, it doesn't. Okay? Something to keep in mind when you're working on the assignment. Next one. We changed the graph and the value of D became -4. What does it do? So going from dashed to solid, we're going down this time. Down how many?
-4.
Down 4, yeah. So it shifts down 4. Okay? Now writing that as an equation, we write y is equal to x squared because that's my parent function. And what do I do to my equation to represent down 4? -4. Okay? Now let's practice changing it to a function. What's the new name of the equation or the graph? M of x. So y equals changes to m of x. The x squared replaces with
F of x.
and bring down the -4.
Oh wait, that's easy.
Yeah, it just takes some practice. It looks confusing, but it's not, as long as you write the equation first. And once again, moving it up and down doesn't change the axis of symmetry. Got it? Flip it over. So, up and down are two different types of transformations, but you also have what directions? Left and right. So, it says the parent function x squared is shown on the right. In A and B, observe how transforming the function using f of x minus c affects the graph. Well, A, it says enter the function into your calculator. I already did that for you, and I already graphed it for you. We got x minus 2, but remember, this minus is already this is vertex form. It's already part of the formula. So if it's a -2 in the equation, what is it actually doing? Or what type of number is it in reality? It's a +2. What was plugged in was a +2. It says sketch the graph at the right and describe how the equation can compare. So a +2 is going to move my parabola which way?
Left and right. Wait, up and wait.
But a +2.
Oh,
it's going to move it to the right. It's going to move it to the right. Okay? Notice it's still the same parabola. If I trace this, if I trace that parabola, it's still the same parabola, same size. All it did was move to the right. Yeah. Okay? So in the equation, though, it's written as what? Minus 2. The equation subtracts 2. But in the graph, it's shifted 2 units to the right. So that's going to be confusing because you see a minus 2 in the equation, but you're still going to the right. Okay? Now looking at B, you have a plus 4. What type of number did you have to plug in for it to turn into a plus 4? Negative 4. So that one's talking about this parabola here on the far left. Okay. So in the equation, what does it do? It adds 4. But the shift is that it shifted 4 units to the left. So this is what we call a horizontal translation. So anytime you have a number that's changed inside of the parentheses, that goes left and right. But if you change the last number, the outside of the parentheses, the plus or minus d, that one moves it up and down. Okay? Inside of the parentheses, left and right. Outside of the parentheses, up and down. Keep that in mind. So f of x minus c, it shifts the parabola horizontally. F of x minus c, minus is how you write vertex form. So it's staying as a minus sign means that you're going to go to the right, that the number is positive. Plus c means you inserted a negative number, so it's going to move it to the left. Your negative x values are on the left, positive x values are on the right, but it goes opposite, okay? Now, in equation form, if you wrote it in y equals form, it would be written as x minus c squared, okay? But going from y equals, I'm going to write that down first so you can see what switches to what. The y equals changes to the name, which is g of x. That's just a random one that I picked. And then to change or to insert some type of f of something, what they do is we get rid of the squared and we put an f in front of the parentheses.
So it's f of x minus c.
Correct. Get rid of the squared, put an f in front. So we got 4 more practice problems and then you can do the assignment. Ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Here we go. We have a transformation. The value of c is 4. Write a statement. Okay? Compare your vertex. Your vertex is here, it moves here. Which way did we move?
To the right.
We moved to the right how many? 4. It shifted to the right 4. Okay? Meaning we're inserting a positive 4. Think about that when we're writing the equation. Ready? Mm-hmm. So my equation is going to be y is equal to parentheses x minus or plus 4.
Minus.
It will stay as a minus 4. It will stay as a minus 4. Okay? Now we switch it to function form. Y equals changes to g of x. We see the g of x right here, and I'm just going back over that because this is a video. The square changes to an f in front, x minus 4. And that's how it would be written. Questions on this one? Okay, let's look at the next one. The value of c is -3, write a statement. Look at your vertex. This time we move to the
Left.
left. How many?
4. 3.
3. Shifts left 3, which makes that 3 what? -3. Keep that in mind when you're writing the equation. So to write the equation, y equals parentheses x what? Plus 3 squared. Okay, now your y equals is going to change to h of x. Get rid of the squared and put a what? F in the front.
Why H of X?
Yeah.
Because it says
Okay. Now we compare the axis of symmetry. Let's look. What's the axis of symmetry of the parent, or what's the vertex of the parent function? 0, 0. So the axis of symmetry is
0.
x equals 0. Make sure you write it as x equals, right? What is the new axis of symmetry?
0, 5. No, 0, 4, 3, 0, 4, 4. Oh my gosh.
4, 0. So the axis of symmetry is x is equal to the x value, which is 4. When you move it left and right, does it change the axis of symmetry? Yeah, because the line that splits this one in half has now moved over here. See that? The line that splits the parabola in half is now moving over as well. That doesn't happen when you shift it up and down. The line that splits it in half doesn't move left and right. If it goes up and down, nothing happens. It's still 0. Got it? Okay. So 2 more practice problems that can be anything. Oh, actually, these last 2 practice problems, they move 2 directions. So here we go. Find the first vertex, or find both vertex. You always want to describe the left and right first. Which way did it go? Goes right 1. So we can write that down. Right 1. And then what? Up 2. All right, so let's write our equation. Y equals parentheses x minus or plus
Minus
1. Okay, the left and right goes here. And now if we go up 2, what do we put at the end? Add 2. Bless you. Okay, now what's the name of the new function?
H of X.
H of x is equal, get rid of the squared and put an f in front. X minus 1 plus 2. Number 7. Describe left and right first. Which way did we go? Left.
3.
And then
Up 1.
up 1. Okay.
Is it -3?
It will make it -3, correct. Yeah. Ready? All right, we can go ahead and put a negative over here too. All right, y equals parentheses x
Plus 6. Plus 3.
plus 3 because we inserted a -3, right? And then up 1 means plus 1. Very good. The name of the new equation?
G of X.
Equals
F
f of
X plus 3 plus 1.
plus 1. Very good. Questions?
Easy.
I hope so.
Can you go back to the front?